Welcome everybody that's interested in a corridor-wide update. We are going to run through a presentation talking about a little bit about our schedule, proposed station areas, and some visualizations within the corridor. And then for anybody that has questions, we have time at the end. Please feel free, if folks are joining in, to leave questions in the chat as we go, and we will get to them. So starting out, the blue line is part of our metro network, which connects us all over the region. So whether you're going to Mall of America or the airport or destinations within the corridor, such as the Robinsdale downtown, wonderful businesses along West Broadway in Minneapolis, or correspondingly wonderful businesses around on West Broadway and Brooklyn Park, you're connected to a fast, frequent network of reliable service. So right now, it's giving me a, can everybody see my content? It's giving me a weird message. Okay,
I can see it.
Click it away. I'll just click it away. Hopefully that didn't do anything. So right now, we're in the process of identifying a community-supported alignment that'll take kind of through the rest of the year. And beyond that, we'll still continue to have many conversations with the community. We'll have an environmental process. We have to develop construction-ready design plans and do additional engineering. And then there'll be, of course, a few years of construction, 3 to 4, before we open the line. Our goal right now being 2028. So this is the beginning of a discussion to get into much more detail as we go. So I'll run through a little bit about our proposed station locations before turning it over to Nick to run through our visualizations. Just kind of put a little context right now. This is kind of our first blush at the best locations for stations. We want to continue to have many conversations with the community as we specifically site these stations, and then we'll refine them as we further develop design and get into all the details of these stations and station areas. So expect ongoing conversations with us. And as you see these locations feel right, is there anything missing? Kind of that is part of the discussion that we're reaching out to community today. So the stations that I'm about to show, to site them, these are some of the things that we took into consideration. Previously planned stations, feedback from community stakeholders. We have an interactive map online. People gave us a lot of locations that they were interested in. Obviously, key destinations. That's been something we've been asking about for some time. And then spacing. So light rail, you need some spacing between your stations for light rail. So half a mile to a mile, and just kind of figuring how all of that fits together. So with that, in Brooklyn Park, basically our stations as designed can remain. So there's 4 stations that were part of the previous project that can remain part of our current version of the project at Oak Grove, 93rd, 85th, and Brooklyn Boulevard. As we kind of get into Southern Brooklyn Park and then enter Crystal and Robinsdale, the previous alignment here is in gold. And we can stay fairly true to some of these station locations. So serving a major park and ride at 63rd, vibrant business district in Crystal, as well as downtown Robinsdale. One of the things that we heard the most in our past project was the desire to serve North Memorial Hospital, being a major destination both for hospital services and clinical services. And so this station at the southern portion of the line really connects folks to that amenity and to that regional destination that many people are going to, both in terms of a lot of employment, a lot of folks, and the services as well. Getting into Minneapolis, we have 2 route options. One is along Lowry Avenue to Washington, and another is along West Broadway with various linked options of how we would travel to West Broadway from Target Field. There are many kind of places that help us connect. So thinking of both the C line and D line connections, as well as where these stations are placed, tend to be very big business hubs within the neighborhoods. So thinking of where people are going, where they want to get, and kind of the best places to potentially place stations. That is the same too when you get down to kind of the Plymouth area. There's a little hub of services and businesses and awesome places to go. So kind of with that idea in mind, this is kind of what we're putting out first forth to get folks' feedback on. And as we move forward, we'll weigh these station areas against our project principles and goals. There are a line of things that help us guide our overall work. Continued public engagement. Obviously, there's, engineering plays a factor, like we need kind of tangent track to place a station. They're about 300 feet long, those type of things. And obviously, the population's destinations, job access is kind of one of our number one things. Also look at available right of way and where we can place stations to have the least amount of impact for the greatest also positive impact, and what future land use might be around these stations. So as we place them, we kind of place them in areas that have a little bit more density and could continue to in the future. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Nick. We have a couple examples kind of per city of some of our visualizations, and he'll walk us through that now. Take it away, Nick.
All right, well, thank you, Sophia. My name is Nick Landwehr. I am with Metro Transit and the Metro Transit project lead for engineering and design on the project. So want to walk through the LRT visualizations. We kind of have two different sets in Brooklyn Park, as Sophia mentioned before, with the station exhibit. We have stations that are already designed. We're at 90% design, and in that area, 4 of the 5 stations are in that design area. As we get down into 63rd, that station will be moving a little bit, have to move a little bit out from the railroad corridor into County Road 81. And so we need to analyze how that operates and fits within there. And then also with Brooklyn Park, as we're looking at options farther south through Crystal, Robinsdale, North Minneapolis, well, we still want to engage with the public on Brooklyn Park and talk about the project as we have it designed at this time. So next slide, please. So again, in Brooklyn Park, our plans are a little bit more developed here, are quite a bit more developed here. We're at 90% again. So these are renderings from our 90% plans, and they indicate how center platform station along West Broadway functions. This is at 85th Avenue. So the station platform is showing on the left-hand side of the intersection. So the up down, I guess north, or the up down east west in this case is 85th Avenue, and then the through traffic with the station is West Broadway. So at the station, as with all, what we like to have center platform stations, so they're consistent with the footprint. So the footprint is the same on most of them. So folks, when they get to the station, all the amenities are in the same place. So as you walk up the ramp, the card readers, the go-to card readers, the ticket vending machines are in the same place. The informations, the signage, the interactive television screens are in the same place on these stations, so folks know where they're going. What we can do, and what's shown on this, is look at some of the architecture to make it fit within the existing community, to fit within that context. So we can work on the roof facade structures to kind of incorporate into that area where it's designed. Paint structures or paint on the platforms and colors on the platforms are some of the elements that help individualize each station. One of the things we also look at as we do this is the pedestrian bike connections to the stations. How do we get our customers to them safely and efficiently? And we really focus on, if we can, to have the primary access for these stations at a signalized intersection, so folks can, as you're walking to it, you can push a button, get a pedestrian signal, walk across, get to the station. Or if you're going, not going to the station but going across, you have that safe crossing and the potential for a refuge at that station area if you can't get it all the way across. Next slide. So this is the same station. This is looking from the south to the north. This is at North Hennepin Community College. So the benefit of this station area, not only do we have residential, we have a library on the north side of it. We're right adjacent to North Hennepin Community College with this, and there's some commercial shopping area, restaurants also in this neighborhood. This on the south end, this shows our secondary or a second access to the platform for pedestrians. So although it's not at a signalized intersection, as folks are getting to wanting to cross the road to the traffic, there's flashing beacons for the crosswalk that the pedestrian can push the button, get that recall, get over to the station platform, and part of the station platform too, as we get to it, is we have boxes in there that kind of direct pedestrians as they're crossing the tracks to look in the direction of travel of the train. So we have that positive visual confirmation that where the trains are coming through. So this is all an effort to make these as safe as possible. Next slide, please. Just another visual showing how the platform itself operates with the televised announcement, or the announcements on there, the kiosks to look at schedules, protection from the elements with some wind screening, and roof, if it's raining or snowing in these locations. So as we move down the alignment, this gives us a little bit more a leeway to go. So we'll have visualizations here that are a little bit more conceptual, because we're moving now off of from what the last alignment or our previous alignment was along the Burlington Northern Freight Railroad. We're moving into County Road 81. So we want to take a look at and confirm that is center running at grade alignment for light rail, the best option going forward through this area. So we are looking at right now evaluating a 4-lane road design on most of County Road 81, and we do know that Bass Lake Road is a key intersection in this area for Crystal, and we're looking at how to make that intersection operate the most efficiently. And we are also looking at a station in that location. So next slide, please. So we do have some visualizations. Again, I want to point out that in this location, we're not at 90% anymore. We're kind of back down into that 5-7% design. So we're going to show some graphics that show the existing conditions along the route and route options, and then what center running light rail could look like in there. They're not very detailed as far as a description of specific widths for road and sidewalk. We haven't spent a lot of time or really any time on landscaping, hardscaping, and we really do need to dive into how intersections fit in and operate through here. But these give a good visualization so people can understand how the light rail can fit within the existing corridor. All these visualizations are also on our project website, so I'm going to go through them fairly quickly, but if folks want to take a look at the project website, we have an interactive map. You can click on the camera in that map and pull up these drawings and spend some more time with them. So this visualization here is the existing visualization just south of Bass Lake Road, and again, this a visual concept. So we're looking at 6 lanes in each direction. There's a center median through here. There's trails on either side of the roadway, a boulevard on either side of the roadway. In this condition, we have commercial on both sides, but directly adjacent to the west side of the road, there is a frontage road in this point. So next slide. So this is a concept of how that center running alignment would look through here. What we are showing here is a reduction or dedicating 2 of the lanes to traffic in here, and then 2 of those 6 lanes would go towards a light rail alignment in there. So we have a center running light rail in this area. We have the 4 lanes in here. We maintain the frontage road in this location, and we also maintain those pedestrian ways, the sidewalks and trails on either side of the roadway. One thing to point out on all of these maps is up in the upper right hand corner, there's a photograph of the existing condition of that. So that's how it looks. That's what these visualizations are based off of, the graphics. And then on the left hand side, we have a key map of kind of the specific location of where these visual renderings are at. So we're again back in Crystal, right around 48th Avenue. This is a more of a residential area, so we have residential on both sides of the alignment. Again, it's a 6-lane roadway through here with the center running median, boulevards on both sides, trails on both sides, and in this location, we have a frontage road on the east side of the road. So as we go forward, this is a concept of how that center running light rail fits within this alignment with the 4-lane configuration. We can pretty much fit within that existing curb line of the roadway before. We maintain the trails on both sides, and we can maintain the frontage road on that side, on the east side also. So moving down into Robinsdale and some of the design considerations we're looking at here again. Again, we want to confirm a center running at grade on County Road 81 is the best option to move forward with. One of the key things that we want to look at as we're going through the downtown Robinsdale areas, that we want to maintain the existing intersections through there, specifically intersections at 42nd, 41st, 40th, 36th, 35th are out there now. They're all signalized. They're in full movement intersections, and our goal and where we're at is maintaining those. So we specifically want to focus on pedestrian safety in this area. This is, as we're reaching out to the public and getting comments back, that is one of the big concerns at this area right now with the roadway going through it. And as with all places, that and the higher speeds of traffic, that it's maybe not quite as pedestrian friendly as it could be. We'll strive to, in our design, to improve those facilities and those conditions the best we can to make it a safe and inviting environment, and hopefully pull that community together with the project and make it a good downtown area. Again, in this location, what we still need to develop along here with our concepts is we get farther into engineering, we'll start looking at the green space, how we program it, how we do landscaping, hardscaping, and things like that. So this is again in Robinsdale, off on the horizon on the top of the screen is 41st. We're kind of over 40th, looking at this view, bird's eye view. We can see that there's a retaining wall on that left-hand side with parking above it. We know that there's parking underneath that area. We have a sidewalk or trail on both sides with a narrower median in here. We have a full access intersection through this area and 4 lanes of traffic. On the east side, we have a commercial mall with some parking areas. So on this visualization, we show the center running at grade light rail going through here. We're able to, working off of that existing wall on the west side or the left-hand side of your screen. We want to maintain that area, maintain the parking there. We continue with the trail. We have 2 lanes of traffic in each direction. We're able to maintain the intersections in this area at 41st and 40th, and again a trail on the east side. There could be some parking impacts to that strip mall, and in all locations like this, we'll work with the property owners to mitigate the impacts that this could have to them, to the property, and how we can work forward to mitigate by either replacing or working with that property owner on the best way to move forward. Again, in Robinsdale, moving a little bit farther south, this is down towards North Memorial. We still have a 4-lane roadway here. There's frontage roads on either side. There's pedestrian and trails on either side of. We have a pretty good sized median through here and a decent boulevard between the frontage roads on either side. So as we move forward with our concept, this shows the center running at grade light rail going through the middle. We're able to maintain those 4 lanes of traffic. Obviously, we're running where the center median is, but we're able to maintain boulevards on either side and the frontage roads, as well as the pedestrian ways through this area. So we're going to move a little bit farther south as we get into Minneapolis and a few more design considerations here, because as we get off of County Road 81 or as we're moving down County Road 81, we start having two different route options through North Minneapolis to evaluate and comment on it. It's the Lowry Avenue to Washington is one alignment, or continue on County Road 81, which turns to West Broadway in this area, and as a consideration. So we need to determine the links, as Sophia pointed out in the map before, and how to get to either one of those route options, and how that'll function. We do know that as we go through this area, there will be impacts to the on-street parking. There's a parking analysis underway, so we can develop a toolbox of how we mitigate for that parking. We know that if we're disrupting that parking or taking it away, that we need to work with the community there, the business owners, the property owners, to evaluate the potential of maybe a district parking, look at if there's options for side street parking, or each specific property, if there's a way that we can work with them and mitigate that for them if there's room in the alley, and also look at how deliveries and things like that are handled along the alignment. Again, we really need to start looking at the intersection operations, how the traffic signals work, and how the turn lanes fit within that. So again, we need to develop on these designs the details such as landscaping, streetscaping. We know that there's bike facilities along these. How do we accommodate for those bike facilities and take care of those? And as we move forward, engineering the exact dimensions of lane widths and that sidewalk zone are to be determined, but these will show you how those can fit within there. So this is along Lowry Avenue at Newton. This is typical of most of Lowry Avenue, where it's a two-lane road, one lane in each direction. We have a bikeway on the outside of the trails there. There are some areas for off-street parking or on-street parking in this area, as well as sidewalks on either side of the alignment. And this shows more of a residential commercial area. So this is how light rail fits within that corridor center running. So this option or concept shows continuing that two lanes at each direction. They're on either side of the light rail corridor. We do show on this, a concept of what's called sharrows, where you're sharing, bikes and cars are sharing the lanes. There's other options that we need to look at. This is just one of many options for how we accommodate for bikes in the area. We continue with the move forward a little bit quickly there, but we have sidewalks on either side, and we can see that it kind of moves the front footprint out a little bit more with the light rail in this segment and this concept. So moving along a little bit more on Lowry Avenue, as we get closer to Lyndale, there's probably about 5 or 6 blocks that are 4-lane through here, where there's parking. There's the bike route that's on either side of it. There's a little bit larger median in here, and we have sidewalks on either side. So this is how the center running light rail would fit through there. Looking at maintaining those the 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, that 4 lanes, how bike lanes could fit within there. Obviously, as things start pushing out a little bit, we show that there's probably impacts to the parking in this area, but maintaining that sidewalk, the pedestrian ways on the outside. Moving over to our other route option is West Broadway. This is a visualization at Queen Avenue. So the existing condition is basically a 5-lane roadway. So we have 2 lanes in each direction with that center turn lane. Sidewalks, pedestrian ways on either side. We have more residential in this area with single-family homes in this depiction, and on one side, and maybe higher density apartments on the other side of the roadway. And as we come through with center running, so we reduce the lanes down to 1 lane in each direction here with that center running guideway. Maintain those pedestrian ways, the sidewalks on the outside, and fit through within this corridor. Moving a little bit farther south on West Broadway, this is at Newton Avenue. Again, the existing condition is it's a 4-lane road through this area with medians shown here, a center median in here, and then the trail directly adjacent to the roadway, or not a trail, but a sidewalk directly adjacent to the roadway on each side. And then this is with the center running LRT. We're reducing it down to 1 lane of travel, or automobile travel lanes in each direction, with that sidewalk still adjacent to either side of the roadway. Now, a little bit farther south, this is more where we get into the commercial areas of West Broadway. This is at Emerson Avenue, from up over Emerson Avenue, looking to the kind of northwest. 4 lanes of traffic each direction. We have on-street parking in here. There's sidewalks on either side and basically we're built out face to face of buildings in this area. As we go to the next one with the center running, again, we reduce the lanes down to 1 lane in each direction of travel. The parking does go away in this, but we still are able to provide good pedestrian zones on either side of this guideway. So we've been asked to evaluate and look at some other options. We just kind of want to show those to you and how they would work within the concept. So one of them was elevated. The thought was that maybe the elevated could reduce some of the impacts to the traffic, and so this concept shows elevated here, what the structure looks like. With elevated, we still need to maintain that 28 to 30 foot wide guideway up, but it's just up in the air. They're on columns that are 8 to 10 feet wide along there. This concept also has a wire frame on either side, and that wire frame is just to indicate the dimensions if there was to be a station in this location and how much wider that would make it. One thing we do notice here is it maybe helps us out with the left turn lanes a little bit more, but we're still only able to maintain 1 lane of traffic in each direction with the elevated way. So it doesn't help us out substantially with getting back more room in the roadway. The next option here is another one that folks said, well, let's take a look at side running. Maybe we can give maybe a little bit more room to the automobiles on each side. Maybe that'll make it more efficient. One of the key concerns or issues with the side running concept is it really does have an effect on all the connections that would come in to it. So anytime we cross the guideway with vehicle travel on it, we need to signalize that crossing, for safe movements and provide left turns through there. So if it's not a signalized intersection today, we really have to look at how we would maintain alleyways, driveways. It really starts having a lot more impact on those with that side running, and pushes the guideway more to one side of the road than the other.
Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
As we're just kind of closing out the presentation portion of this of the meeting, just also want to touch briefly on some of the work that we're kicking off for anti-displacement. So through this project, we really want to maximize the economic benefit of the LRT and ensure that the changes benefit the residents currently existing in the corridor. Providing opportunities for equal housing, employment, business development, cultural experiences, and just our daily life. And so as part of that, we had heard from the community that really get into this work right away. So we definitely are doing that. We have a request for proposals out to Hennepin County's website, looking for a facilitator or a group of folks that will kind of help us kick off this conversation, that will be looking for implementable policy solutions that'll take us through this project and potentially beyond. So kind of gearing that up, we're just at the forefront of it. We'll probably have these folks on board in September, but if you know anybody that is interested in the work, the proposals are due on July 27th, so there's a little bit more time to do that, and we'll look forward to getting into more conversations with the community on these topics in the coming months. It'll be an essential part of our work, in addition to the design and engineering components that we focused on today. So with that, time for discussion and questions. A couple of things to note. As Nick said earlier, we have an interactive map that has all these visualizations in the station study areas. Please encourage your friends and colleagues and family to visit our website and leave comments on the interactive map. Check it out. You can spend more time with it. We recorded this session today, so for anybody that is interested in listening in and getting these details, it will be available online shortly after this meeting. And project staff is always interested in coming where you are. So we were, for example, different project staff were out different places last night. Some of us were in Robinsdale at a driveway talk with a group of folks. Some of us were in Minneapolis just at a community space chatting, and that's what we want to continue to do. So if the virtual or the larger group doesn't feel like your gig, please visit our website and reach out to our outreach coordinators and project staff. We would be happy to talk with you further. I got the idea of coming to a community garden and that kind of stuff we just look forward to, so we can get into the details. So with that, I don't see any questions in chat yet. A little bit of a smaller group today with us joining online. So we'll kind of just, in addition to putting comments in chat, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question or follow up with us later. Quiet group today, it seems. We've had the great pleasure of probably talking to a few hundred people this week at various locations, and so we continue to hope to do that. We also next week, if you prefer the in-person, we have open house in Crystal at Becker Park on Monday evening, as well as 2 more virtual events, one focused on Minneapolis and one focused on kind of the County Road 1, Crystal, Robinsdale area later in the week. So if that is more your gig, there's many ways to connect with us throughout this time. So Nick, any parting thoughts?
No, I just appreciate the folks that could attend, and we're always available for comments, questions, and discussion anytime. So show up at a meeting or reach out to to us through the website or to Sophia. Thanks.
All right, everybody. The bluelineext.org. Thanks for spending time with us today, and we'll see you all again hopefully very soon. Bye now.
Thank you.